Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zhani. If you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn off post notifications and follow me on Instagram. It's in the description box down below. If you're not new here, then thanks for coming back. So if anybody knows me, you know that I literally have a book obsession. Like, I love to read, and it's not even just about reading. I just like having my books on a bookshelf so I can see them. And I love reading thick books. Literally, this is just 6 books and they weigh like a ton. And I have so many more. So basically what I'm trying to get to is that I kind of wanted to start doing book recommendations or showing you guys my book collection because it's something that I like and I like to do, so why not share it? I was gonna kind of start off with some of my favorite books, and one of the recommendations or things that I'm showing you is a series. There's only one of those in here, and then the rest are standalone books. So I have other series that I've read, but I'm obviously not talking about them right now because that would take way too long to just do in one video. So these are just some books that I really liked and I was like, why not share it? Also, I really like hard-covered books more than the paperback books because they're easier to maintain. To me, they're just nicer. They're nicer to hold, they're nicer to look at, and they're easier to stand up. You don't have to worry about too much folding and damage happening. So that's kind of what I'm about. So I'll get started right now. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is by Marieke Nijkamp. I'm not really sure if I'm saying that right, but the book looks like this. It's called This Is Where It Ends. And underneath it says, everyone has a reason to fear the boy with the gun. So it's about a school shooting. And I thought this was really interesting because I read this right after, like 2 years ago. So it was right after in the United States, we were having a lot of school shootings and that was happening. So like reading this was just kind of another eye-opener because it's in the perspective of multiple students who are actually in the school and some who are outside of the school trying to get help, and it's just really sad. And it's really sad and it's really good though. It took me a little while to finish it because it was kind of just like, I was going to school, it could happen. Like, I've known people who have been in those situations, like legitimately at certain schools that have had that happen. So it was just kind of crazy to read it and I guess kind of be able to see, you know what I'm saying? Like what was happening, and it was just really, really sad. So if you want something that's sad, but also almost like non-fictional, well, this story is fictional, but it's real world type things, then this will be good for you. It was really, really good. Like really good. It moves you. Oh wait, since I'm kind of on that vibe, I'll just go to the next one. So this is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This book was turned into a movie. I haven't watched the movie yet. It's on Netflix. I'm kind of waiting. This book made me so sad. Like so sad. It was sad. It was a really good book, but it was a lot. It's about 2 teens named Theodore and Violet, and they meet on top of a tower. So it's basically kind of like another teenage story. Theodore was, as it says in the thing, he was like obsessed with death, and Violet, she just lost her sister. So it's kind of like that vibe of like grief and, trying to figure out what you're doing because they're in high school. So, it's just like that time of their lives, like everything's changing and it's a lot to deal with, and they kind of find each other through that, and it gets sadder and sadder and sadder as you go along, and then at the end you're like crying. So if you're also into that, it's really sad, but it's really good. And honestly, this book, I more so remember the feeling of it than the actual storyline. So like whenever I see it on my shelf, I'm like, ugh. And it's just like instant, but it was a really good book. And since we're still in that kind of dark type of vibe, my next book is a Stephen King recommendation. Now, I really wanted to read it, but it's long and I was gonna make that commitment, but I don't remember what happened. I was at Target, I was gonna get the book, but I didn't end up doing it. But I did get the Mr. Mercedes book. So this is the first book in a series. I think there might be 3 books. And I only read this one because it was absolutely crazy. The main character, he's a police officer, well, an ex-police officer. And basically there is a killer. You literally find out at the beginning, he drives his car into a group of people. So that's not a surprise, like it's literally in the beginning. So it's not even a spoiler, but let me tell you, it has the perspective of the killer in it also. So you see like his perspective, you see the ex-cop and like what he's going through to try to solve this case. And it's just a whole lot of mess. And it's Stephen King, so it's dark and it's grimy. It was really good. And I remember going through this, and every time like a new chapter would drop, I was like, drop. Every time I read a new chapter, I was just surprised and disgusted by what was going on. Yeah, I did a project on this. Like, it literally says this book was about a retired cop named Bill Hodges who receives a letter from a person that drove a Mercedes into a group of people, killing and injuring them. The killer hid in plain sight, blah, 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 blah. They made this book into a TV show, so there's an adaptation of that. I haven't watched the TV show, so I should probably do that and compare. Obviously, the book's gonna be better, but I still kind of want to see what they took from it and how they did it. This book, I sadly got in paperback, but you know, I took pretty good care of it. I've had it for 4 years now. It's only like around 430 plus pages, so it's not too bad. Again, if you're into that criminal, serial killer, Ted Bundy, Silence of the Lambs vibes. Yeah. Okay, I read the first book in this series that I'm gonna show you right now. I read it in 7th or 8th grade, and the people in my friend group, they started reading it, and then I just ended up getting recommendation, and I read it, and it's Harry Potter, basically. I don't even know how. Okay, Carry On by Rowell. Yeah, it's like Harry Potter except fan fiction version. So this is Carry On, but then I don't know if she wrote this before or after, but it's a book called Fangirl. So in this book, these are all by Rowell, by the way. This girl named Kath, and she is the main character in Fangirl, and she writes this, I guess it's fan fiction because it's kind of like Harry Potter, but she writes her own book online. And so after Rowell did this one, I don't know if this one came first or Carry On came first, but she took the book from this one. So the character in this book is writing this book. So then she took that world and she made it into this one. And Carry On is about Simon, and he's the golden one. So he basically is like Harry Potter. And then there's Boz, he's like Draco Malfoy, except they're like flips. So it goes like Carry On is the first book, and then Wayward Son is the second. And you know, Carry On, my Wayward Son, that's kind of like the vibes here. That was so hard to explain. Let me try to say it one more time so you kind of get what I'm saying. So there's this girl called Kath, and she writes a novel. She writes her own book or her own interpretation. And what the actual author, Rowell, did was she took the book in the book and then she made another series out of it. And it's really good. So I read this one, then I read this one, and then I read this one. And there's gonna be another book coming out because they left Wayward Son on a big cliffhanger, and I'm waiting for that because but the first book is kind of like the great battle of figuring out who's the enemy, yada, yada, yada. Fight, magic, yada, yada, yada. We're up here in England type vibes. And then the second book is after all that. And they're in America doing their thing because, you know, why not go to America? So they take a trip to the United States because they know people over there, yada, yada. You'll see in the first book, you'll kind of get the vibes, get the relationships that are in there. And it was so good. I really enjoyed Carry On. And if you like Harry Potter and you want to see this other interpretation of it, I guess this will be good for you. I like it when books put little maps inside of when you're like reading fantasy and things like that, because you know, it gives you kind of an understanding of what the world looks like. Yeah, so that's all I have for you right now. These are just like a few random books that I have. Yeah, a few. And I have so many more, so I really want to do a video of like my book collection. I'm gonna do that at some point. I just have to get them all situated and organized because I like organizing my books, I know. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and follow me on Instagram. It's in the description box down below. Leave comments. Did I say that? I think I did. Leave comments, give me book recommendations. Maybe I'll go more in depth next time because I literally didn't really talk about the books. I kind of just glossed over it just to give you an idea, but bruh.